welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And it has been a very busy week here in Plano. So we have a packed show for you today. But first, our sponsor. Our sponsor is Southwest Pain Management. Southwest Pain Management takes care of most chronic pain without pain pills. Their goal is to get you back to doing the things you love. They are also the world's leading long COVID expert. Dr. Groisman sees people from all over the world to treat their long COVID. Southwest Pain Management is in Plano. Please go to their website, reliefbeginshere.com. That's reliefbeginshere.com to see all that they do. So first up, we must make a correction, Ruth. For you see, in episode 72, I quoted the Community Impact newsletter, which wrote that TexRail spent $39 million to build their rail line from Fort Worth to DFW Airport. Well, it has come to my attention that the community impact was wrong. According to the DFWAirport.com website, the $39 million was just for the construction of the train station at Airport Terminal B of DFW. The total TexRail from Fort Worth to DFW Airport project grant was $1,034,410,000. Still under the $2 billion that DART spent on its line from DFW to Plano and back, but still a lot of money, either way you put it. So we at Plano's Political Pitbull apologize for the mistake. We trusted Community Impact to get the numbers right. So we really shouldn't have trusted them. Sadly, you'd figure a little Community Impact newsletter could at least get the numbers right. So we are sorry for that, and that is why we've come back to make the correction. Up next, the Lavon Farm zoning case went to the City Council on December 8th. We talked about that case in episode 72. So if you did not listen to that episode, people, go back and do so. For just a quick recap, Lavon Farms is zoned agriculture. It is 215 acres, and it wants to be rezoned to residential community design. The developer wants single-family detached and attached and multifamily. It's going to be a massive development, take about 7 years from start to finish. There were 84 people who opposed the zoning change on Plano's website. So, unfortunately, 84 people did not actually show up to the meeting. No, nor did a lot of people speak. We had 3 speakers on this zoning case, all against the zoning case. So our first person against was very concerned about the apartments. He says there are already apartments all over that area, about 3,000 of them, and he was also concerned about traffic. Another resident was concerned about residential next to the east-west corridor. feels that they need a connection to Avenue P, which there is none planned. Also wanted to know what size the lots are going to be, and also was concerned over the phasing of the project. And another person talked about walkability, transportations, and traffic, and wanted a nature preserve, which I liked that idea. That was not going to happen. There's not a chance in pigs would have to fly first before they would say, we want a nature preserve. Yeah, not going to happen. So, there were some questions that went back and forth. There was one comment from Horn. He said, most of the concerns from the residents had been addressed. No, they hadn't. He is excited about the project and said that they could have done a lot more if they were just looking for a profit. I'm sorry, that wasn't Horn, that was Homer. Julie Homer said that. No, Julie, they couldn't. If she was talking about SB 15, again, been over that one before, where an agricultural zoning can by right build a whole bunch of single-family houses, 1,600 single-family homes to be exact. So they could have made a profit on that. No. There were basically everybody fawned over this project. Not a shock. Everybody had positive things to say about it.
Do they ever have negative things to say about a project?
Occasionally. They'll table it, send it back.
It doesn't seem
I'm
like
sure
it.
they deny. They've denied some.
It doesn't feel like it.
I know. Well, a lot of times they will send it back to planning and zoning. But I know lately I've just heard glowing reviews. Ever since Anthony and Shelby left, there's been pretty much.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Rubber stamp.
Yeah, exactly. Down said you took all of the best elements of the comp plan and the Envision Oak Point plan. This is funny. Lavon said, looking forward to seeing the neighborhood grow and more families moving in. Oh, Steve, where are those families going to go to school?
Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
There's only one elementary school nearby, and not all those people are going to be able to fit in that little elementary school. And the middle school over there is closed. So I don't know where these people can go to school. Well, as you probably guessed, it passed 8-0. So,
No.
So
you don't
long,
say.
Yeah, so long.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah, so long, Dairy Farm. So long, nice, single family subdivision.
We don't need dairy farms, Who needs dairy farms? Who needs dairy? They just get in the way of progress.
I would have been happy if they would have just gone with the 1,600 single-family homes. But because they came to council, these folks came to council, the council had some meager control. Or at least they felt like they had a meager amount of control. So, moving on. We have who is running for the Plano City Council Place 7 to replace Julie Homer.
Woo!
We have two candidates, Colleen Epstein and Dr. Thomas, PhD, are running. So Colleen is a Republican and Dr. Thomas is a Democrat. If y'all care about that out there. Both
Just fun fact.
Just facts. That's the way it is. Both women have websites and Facebook pages. I looked at both. I must say Colleen's website is more detailed on policy and issues. And she's got a lot of endorsements. Whereas Dr. Thomas's site is a little sparse. Not a lot of policy detail. She's got
There's a lot of platitudes.
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that.
It's mostly platitudes. So
so many politicians do that.
Well, it's sparse. She doesn't give a lot of detail. And there's good and bad in that. Obviously not great for the voter because people want to know where you stand on issues specifically. But then, of course, if you take a stand on an issue, there are going to be people who disagree with you. And also, if you take a stand on a policy issue, then the voter, if you win, they're going to want to see you follow through with that.
Yeah, there is strategy to it.
Mm-hmm.
There is strategy to not being too
specific.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Thomas has no endorsements on her website. Endorsements can be good, especially if a person recognizes somebody who has endorsed you and they know them and trust them. Please, please do not take our word for this. Go and do your own homework.
We didn't even tell you what the website said.
The website for Colleen is colleenforplano.com. And for Dr. Thomas, it's shunthomasforplano.com. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
Let me see.
It's actually spelled S-H-U-N, which I looked up the pronunciation, and that's pronounced Shun. And then her last name, Thomas, and then forplano.com. So colleenforplano.com and shunthomasforplano.com. Now, these ladies will be having a debate on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Haggard Library, 2501 Coit Road in Plano, hosted by the Plano Citizens Coalition, a nonpartisan group, and Plano Area Democrats, a very partisan group. You can RSVP on the Facebook's events page, where they have a whole list of events. Election day is January 31st. Early voting starts January 14th through the 27th. And we must thank Councilwoman Julie Homer.
Here we go.
For stepping down from City Council to run for Commissioner's Court, because she has now given us a bill that is well over $200,000 for this special election. So, thanks so much for wasting our money, Julie. Next, the Collin County Connects Committee, the tongue twister committee that is supposed to evaluate our transportation if we are to leave Dart. So the committee has met, I believe they have met about 3 or 4 times, and it didn't go so well. It's not pretty.
What does that mean?
I'm going
They
to
fighting? Fight.
Well,
fight.
they're not
fight.
the committee. The committee is not fighting each other. They're having problems with the staff. Now, these meetings were not videoed. They are not on Plano TV, Facebook, or YouTube. They are nowhere to be found. However, people did go and watch them. Good for you guys.
Yay!
And they have reported on what happened in some Substack articles and on Facebook.
Ooh, drama.
Yes, very dramatic. Also, committee members have given statements on their experiences of the meeting on Facebook on the Dallas Transit Alliance page on Facebook. So the basic agenda for this committee, the ask, okay, from council was, it was what we all thought was supposed to be to, basically evaluate the plan or make a plan. That wasn't exactly what had happened. So they get there and they tell the members that the members during these meetings are supposed to listen to presentations by vendors of microtransit and rate them.
You guys are too stupid and dumb to come up with your own ideas.
Yeah.
You have to rate other people's ideas.
Right.
Because you're so dumb.
Exactly.
And if you come up with any of your own ideas, we'll shoot you.
Okay, they're not going to be shot. Okay?
I might have gone overboard, but I couldn't help myself.
They'll be silenced, but they're not going to be shot.
Hey, that's the same thing.
Okay. All right, not really. Okay?
I was on the right track.
This is all satire, folks. So.
I'm feeling silly.
Okay. Oh, she's feeling silly today. This is going to be good. All right. So, needless to say, the committee was kind of mad because they weren't getting their questions answered. So, I have collected a couple of the statements and articles, and I read them, and I'm going to just read some excerpts of what's been reported. And I will put the Substack articles link on our website, Plano's Political Pitbull. You can go there to our Facebook page, Plano's Political Pitbull Facebook page. That's a tongue twister in itself. And the articles are already posted on our Facebook page, and you just click the link and you can read them right after you listen to our episode.
Or you can pause.
Or you can pause, yes. So, first up, we have Jeremy. Okay, he was present at the meetings, and he wrote a letter to City Council on what he observed, and he put the letter on the Dallas Area Transit's Facebook page. And I'm going to read some of the letter. I'm not going to read all of it. So, he was at the meetings. He attended all of them. And he says, what is confirmed for me after attending these meetings is that the city has done little to no planning for the new real possibility of Plano leaving DART. Also, the city did not provide enough information to the committee for its members to make informed recommendations as per its webpage. Committee members were asking questions like, what are the requirements for the alternative? The city doesn't seem to have any. He goes on to quote their members who said, I cannot put my name on a recommendation when I don't know the costs, and the planning for this should have started months ago. Only about half of the committee participated in evaluating the vendors against the priorities on which the committee was surveyed. They asked the committee to list priorities such as safety, security, on time, reliability, things of that nature. He goes on to conclude, with the alternatives that Plano is looking at, there are still too many unknowns. Adequate planning and trial time is needed, more than just the few months before May 2nd, that is the date of the election. If I was a city council member, I would at least want the referendum postponed to November. I ask that this strongly be considered and also significantly ramp up the planning and be more transparent about it. And sincerely, Jeremy. I'm not going to read his last name because I don't know if he wants that out into the world. So next, we have an article on Substack by Alex titled, A Look at a Week 1 of the Collin County Connects Committee. Subtitled, Plano has its mind set on microtransit, but is it viable for the city and its residents?
Bum, bum, bum.
Again, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read excerpts. My general impression of the first meeting was that the city has no plan, has no clue what their citizens actually want and or need, and have already made up their mind on what they, the city of Plano, want.
Oh, wow. We haven't seen this before.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
The city already has a plan that they want? Wow. And they don't listen to their residents? Wow.
You know, the only thing that really shocked me is that I feel a little bad for these people because this is nothing new, guys. Okay? The city has done this all the time in the past.
Hence their sarcasm.
Yeah. We would not have a show if the city actually, didn't listen or did listen to its residents.
And it's sad because we vote for these people and then they don't listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I will listen to you. And then they ignore you.
Exactly. And also, this is not the first time they've done this where they have a committee. The committee comes in and thinks it's going to have a job that is important, and the committee members take very seriously, and they want to do their due diligence, and basically the city is wasting their time because the city doesn't really care what the committee has to say. It orchestrates it beautifully, and then the staff gets to go back to council and say, well, this is what happened, and because they have orchestrated it so much, it's basically the committee has given them the outcome that the city wants. Well, this committee didn't fall for that. So Alex continues, quote, microtransit is not viable for the city of this size. Yet it seems that it's the only option Plano is considering. Members being told to limit their questions making me wonder just what the point of the committee was, end quote. So,
Don't ask questions.
exactly. Like, you can't ask that question. That's not on your purview.
You're just
Very
here to make it look like we care about your opinion.
Mm-hmm. Alex continues, a feeling of dread grows in my heart with every dismissed question about finances, every half-answered question intended to distract rather than actually respond in good faith, every shrug, uncertainty, and lack of response from the city officials. This theme of ignoring constituents grows stronger as each moment passes without clear and honest communication from the city. End quote. Again, I'm sorry to say, guys, this is nothing new.
It's been going on for years.
Mm,
That's why nobody goes to meetings anymore and speaks.
yeah.
You get like 1 or 2 people
Alex,
who still have hope.
yes. Alex continues, many of us left that room filled with more questions than answers and no small amount of disappointment. Would the committee be able to ask all their questions? Given how insistent Andrew Fortune, Plano's Director of Policy and Government Relations, and Phil Dreyer, former mayor and the head of the committee, had been on Tuesday about limiting how many questions the committee could ask, it seems unlikely. So,
I have a question.
yes,
Is there?
and I'll probably be able to answer it.
Well, I don't know, because this might be a toughie.
Okay.
Is there anything we can do to get them to listen to us?
Yes. Vote them all out of office.
Okay, well, what about the next group of people? Because this has been going on for years. We have like half of them are new.
Well, I tell you, we have the next election is, we have one in January 31st. And if the voters elect a person who is not going to be a lemming, who is not just going to nod her pretty head and say, oh yes, whatever staff wants. Oh yes, I agree. No. Pick somebody. We have 2 women running. Pick one of them with a backbone. All right? Who has the backbone to say no? Now, look, odds are she's going to be outvoted. But at least she can put out ideas. She can be a person that residents can go to, and she will listen to them. And she will be the, I hate to say voice, but it's the, for lack of a better word,
Representative?
Voice, yes, an actual representative of the people, not a representative of the staff. If you go to this debate, or I think it will be available to watch online, I would do your research on that. But if you can watch this debate, really listen to both of these women and try to see which person is going to be one who will say no, who will be the dissenter. We need an Anthony Riccadelli or a Shelby Williams who really looked closely and questioned everything. I want a questioner. I want a person who will question staff and not just take them at their word for it. I think staff has too much power. I think the way our city is structured, it gives way too much power to the city manager.
Who we don't vote for.
Who we do not vote for. Power is in the hands of the elected body. They control the purse strings. And right now, what you got up there is a bunch of lemmings.
We call them yes men.
Yeah. You have a bunch of people who are in total agreement with each other. That doesn't make good governance. What makes good governance is being able to have a balance of both sides and then having people be able to come together and compromise. You don't need to compromise when you're all agreeing with each other. It's like having, this may be a bad example, but it is like having all members of Congress being from one party. Right? Now, granted, even within the party, you don't have agreement on everything. I mean, the Republicans are like herding cats sometimes. They can't agree on almost anything.
And Democrats are split right now.
And Democrats are split between two wings of the party. But it's this hive mind we have in city council. It's not good because
it doesn't represent people whatsoever.
No, it does not represent people. They are representing staff. And I mean, they waste time just speaking and giving their opinion because they're repeating each other. Oh, yes, I love it. Oh, yes, I love it. I'm all in favor of it. I'm all in favor of it.
It gets very boring.
Well, anyone not in favor of it? Okay, I don't need to listen to hear you if you are just repeating what the other person next to you is saying. So, if you pick somebody who has a spine and who's going to say no, and who's actually going to listen to you and say, look, I can't vote for this because if we got 84 people, like in the Lavon Farm thing, we have 84 people who took the time to go on our webpage and voice their opinions no. Not one person showed up who was for Lavon Farms, except the developer. Only 3 people were for it on the website, and one of them was the owner of the farm. So as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't count. If you pick somebody who says, I can't vote for this because the people don't want it. The people have made their voices loud and clear to me. Because right now they're not doing that. Vote for that person. That will be a sign to the people sitting on city council now that we don't want another yes person. And they're going to be up for election in 2027. And if all 4 of those people get booted and we get more people who want to listen to the constituents, then
council might actually get a little more interesting.
Council might get a little interesting, but it might actually.
Well, right now it's either they're all mute or they're all saying the same thing.
Yes, but what we want is
can someone have an actual opinion?
Yes, I'd like somebody with an actual opinion of their own. But what we might get is a more fair and accurate representation of the city and more compromise and better governance, because these folks got to work together. So, I digressed a little bit over that, but that was an important question. So, first up for the vendors. So what went on was they had a bunch of presentations from different vendors of transportation. And the first person up, or first business up, was the vendor who does Arlington. Arlington has no public transit or transportation. They use this, what they call microtransit, and it in Arlington. And the company is called Via. Now, a lot of people don't really like it. They have some complaints about it. So Alex continues, quote, much like the Plano City Council itself, the representatives from VIA didn't fully answer all the questions posed to them by the committee, in part because they simply did not have the numbers, information, or data to do so. Speakers for VIA outright stated that they are unsure exactly what will be needed to serve Plano in the long term, which is the exact opposite of reassuring coming from DART's possible replacement. He continues. The city representatives stated they didn't have the data from their other departments, like finance, and didn't have answers when questioned on what would happen if the replacement service couldn't handle the needs of the city. End quote.
We'll worry about those tiny little details later.
Really, guys? you do that's really important to know beforehand.
Nah, you don't need to know that. That's for us to know and you to find out.
Oh, good grief.
That's what I feel like they're thinking, that's what I feel like they're thinking.
Lord, help us, please. Alex goes on. Quote, we know people are getting stranded, said committee member Brett Cooper, and yet not a single person from VIA or the city of Plano had an answer to how to address that serious issue. Instead, they dismissed the subject and moved along with the meeting. Close quote. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's happening apparently in Arlington is VIA is leaving people stranded. And people have testified to this fact that when they go to Arlington and they are using that microtransit system, they're left stranded. That can be scary because what do? I mean, do you call a friend to come pick you up? Do you call a Lyft, an Uber? Maybe you can't afford those things. That's a scary proposition for you. Alex concludes with, overall, the first two meetings did the opposite of what some members of Plano City Council claimed it would do, answer questions. Members of both the committee and the public are growing restless, worried, and annoyed. So that was week one.
I've been annoyed for a while.
Yes. And here is week two. By the way, I must compliment Alex Flores, I believe his last name is. He's a pretty good writer. This is, Alex. I want to think of this as a career. So, a review of week two of the Collin County Connects Committee. The city of Plano ignores its residents yet again. Oh, Alex, if you only knew. If you only knew. I could send this guy a long list. So he begins. The last two presenters that came in on Tuesday were Rideco and Spare. I don't know if you want your ride company to be called Spare. Sounds like Spare Tire. I don't know. I don't think it's a good name. So, Rideco started off with a lengthy presentation on how they shared data across systems and what systems they work with. Uber and Lyft were once again mentioned as primary parts for how the system would work. However, Rideco only pitched software, no service, no vehicle types, and no true explanation on how service would work. It was basically a brief demo of the app. Alex goes on. Just as it was the last two meetings, any discussions of finances and costs were shut down, with members of the committee growing increasingly frustrated at the way most of their questions were being shut down.
Oh, yeah. They're saying stop asking about money.
I can understand that.
And they care about the money.
Or stop asking about questions we don't want you to ask. Could be anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's specifically citing the finances, which might have been a large point of the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And, if your questions about how much money is this going to cost are getting shut down over and over, you're going to get frustrated.
Yeah. It's an important question because we got to come up with this money.
Yeah, where's it going to come from?
Right.
We got to know how much it's going to cost and how are we going to pay for it.
Exactly. Because we don't have that 1 cent. We can't go and use the sales tax from DART right now. The trial run that we're supposed to have before the election, where's that money going to come? Where's that going to come from? It ain't going to come from our sales taxes.
It's a really important question. So the fact that they're just shutting that down, yeah, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Alex continues. Once again, Andrew Fortune showed he does not know how DART's GoLink service works, flat out stating incorrect facts, and during a short break, committee member Nathan Adam chatted with me to confirm his suspicions. You can, in fact, go between GoLink zones. You just can't cross the entire city through multiple zones when a bus route is available instead. He proceeded to correct Fortune as soon as he could, and Fortune attempted to shut him down multiple times and suggested saving this conversation until Thursday.
Don't make me look bad.
So, Andrew, how in the world? If you're wrong about something, take the information. What are you doing? Or, here, better yet, know your facts before you go saying something. I mean, we all make mistakes, but, it's basically don't make me look bad. So, Alex continues. Spare's overall was the best of the three presentations, with much less focus on
Wait, say that again. What?
Spare overall was the best of the three presentations.
Okay.
With much less focus on data and more focus on the fact that they have already been working in the area. Well, that's a good thing. At least you have somebody who knows the area. However, they are also just software. No fleet and no other services beyond the app.
So wait, all they have so far is just apps?
Yep.
They got no plan.
Yeah.
Other than apps.
Yeah. I don't quite understand this. I mean, yeah, Lyft and Uber have apps too, but they also have service. This seems like a middleman.
Yeah, what do they do?
I've never used microtransit. Never been to Arlington, unless I'm going by my own car. So I have no experience. I have no reference point. But yeah, it's going to be just apps. I don't know how this is going to work. Alex continues. Committee member Brett Cooper said, until we can receive clear and transparent information from the city, we won't be asking any more questions. Member Todd Marvin later echoed, every vendor that presented can provide us with the services we need if we pay for them. Or if we pay them enough, I should say. Mm-hmm. Without the costs, Alex continues, we can't make a recommendation. Actually, I'm sorry, that was Todd saying without costs, we can't make recommendations. Alex goes on, it became clear to the committee that many of their questions could not be answered by the representatives from the software companies and began addressing the representatives from Z-Trip and Trips, the people who actually operate the vehicles that the software companies connect to. Okay, all right. Now it's a little clearer. So I guess these software companies run the software and they connect people to Z-Trip and Trips.
So why didn't they have Z-Trip and Trips come and talk instead of these app companies that have no idea what's going on the service level?
Alex doesn't say they made any presentation at all. They were there. They were in the room. My question is, why does Z-Trip and Trips not have their own software and just cut out the middleman? It seems like
that's also a very good question.
These are just middlemen. I mean, you don't need the middleman. Lyft and Uber they're direct. Alex continues. The final meeting rolled around with an air of tension. Uh-oh, getting intense now. Alex says, Brett Cooper made a motion to add DART as the preferred vendor of the committee, and Corey Renker seconded it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be bad.
It's getting heated now.
It's got to be bad if you want the people that the city or the entity that the city doesn't like to be the vendor. Phil Dreyer and Andrew Fortune, of course, Alex says, did their best to blow past it, claiming that since it was just an informal committee, they didn't have the ability to put forward any motions or take votes. But despite the pressed efforts of the city staff, the tone had already been set. The committee was through with being used as a scapegoat for the city's lack of planning. Okay, I need to correct something that perhaps the committee members don't know. Whether you are in an informal committee or a formal committee, if you are going by Robert's Rules of Order, which the chair should have been following, he can follow them loosely. We don't need a parliamentarian necessarily sitting there. If somebody makes a motion and somebody seconds that motion, there must be discussion and there must be a vote on it unless the motion is pulled. This is a...
Well, clearly they wanted to form this committee, but they didn't want the committee members having any sort of power. They're just there, and this is probably what they felt like as well, judging by Alex's words and the way he's describing the scene, which, yeah, you're right, really fantastic writer. Where was I going?
It sounds like the city council...
It sounds like they made this committee to just be, I don't know,
for show?
For show. Just some showy, has no power whatsoever. They're just there to be like, we care about your opinions, but they actually don't.
So if somebody had been there who knew Robert's rules even a little bit, and believe me, my knowledge of Robert's rules is very limited. I know little. I know the basics. I can get by in a meeting if it's being, if it's referenced. But it's used in any meeting. The city council uses a lesser form of it. But even when city council, if you have a motion on the table and it was seconded, even at city council, they must take a vote.
But according to these people, they got no power. Right. They can't vote on anything. They're not really a committee. They're just a group of people.
Yeah. I'm just saying that in the future, if they have to go back, the council sends them back again, they need to know that if you make a motion and it's seconded, there must be discussion and there must be a vote. Alex continues, after the committee was silenced.
So basically you're saying, know your knowledge and fight back.
Yes.
Like, no, you're lying to us. No. We have the power to vote.
Yes. Know a little parliamentary procedure. A little bit. Know the basics. You can get a little Robert Rules of Order cheat sheet. After the committee was silenced, Fortune started off his presentation by showing the data from the rankings submitted by the committee, one of which was a ranking of types of riders for fares, including seniors, paratransit, and disabled riders. It was relieved that many committee members just flat out refused to rank certain categories or vendors due to the lack of information given. Some submitted written comments about their thoughts on both the categories and the process itself. Fortune's response to the committee actions was akin to a kindergartner who didn't get their way. Towards the end of the meeting, he called out this behavior directly in response to some upset members of the committee, saying, so it becomes a question of, if members of the committee don't want to participate fully in the process, we're happy to report that back to the council. Then, in a shocking turn of events, the chair spoke. Brett and the others would like to talk about DART. It's not reducing who is going to be stranded. You're asking this committee to choose who gets stranded, said Brett Cooper in a passionate speech in favor of DART. Fortune, however, quickly pivoted the conversation away from DART, aided by the other city staff members, almost aggressive in their tone and forcefulness in which they shifted topics. Yeah,
if they don't have anything better, then yeah, DART is the better option, even though it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Alex goes on, with Fortune free to continue his explanation on the minimal data collected, the committee, you could feel the room growing tense with every passing moment. As the presentation began to wind down, Cooper once again attempted to get DART on the list of vendors that the committee would be allowed to suggest to the council, attempting to pass out a recommendation letter he and the other committee members had worked on. And the city staff finally reached their breaking point. The swift and aggressive shutdown of the majority of the committee's attempt to bring DART in the discussion was met with irritated rebuttals from from some of the other committee members. And snap arguments broke out across the room.
Oh my God. She's just asking for them to be for the vendor to be available to them in this meeting, that it is a choice that they could say that, you know what, out of all these options, we'd rather stick to Dart. That's all. Right. But they're so stubborn and their pride is so wounded that they won't just give the option. That's all she's asking. She's just asking to have that option.
I think this was a he.
Yeah. Well, you have two people there who are kind of saying this, who are in agreement, right?
Yeah.
So both of them.
Both of them.
So they are asking. Yeah. That's all they're asking for, right?
Yes. So Alex continues. He says, Fortune and other members of city staff told committee chair Phil Dreyer that I don't think staff would recommend allowing that. That's not part of the process, wasn't part of the charge, and is not consistent with what the council's asking. The committee silenced once again. Fortune rapidly shifted the meeting into the closing comments section ahead of schedule. Okay, first of all,
these people are not adaptable whatsoever. Like, you're not following the rules and the plan I had in place, and now I'm mad.
Okay. There's a bigger problem here. If this is what Fortune actually said, I don't think staff would recommend allowing that. Excuse me, staff. You work for the residents. You work for the city council and the mayor. You don't have a say in what you allow or don't allow.
They really have gotten too big.
Alex,
they think there's some powerful counsel to the king or something. How in medieval times a king would have a council that he would also answer to.
Yes.
That's what I feel like they're acting like.
Yeah. Because if I were in there, I would have been, what do you mean allow? Excuse me, allow? No. You don't get to allow anything or not allow anything. I'm sorry. You are bureaucrats. Alex goes on. Committee member Adam said all of these vendors say they need time. They need planning. He pointed out rightfully worried about the unnecessary tight timeline. So I'll say this, commented committee member David Evans. Throughout this process and going back, even back to city council meeting, it feels like a citizen and as a resident, that there is a lack of transparency to the citizens going on to express his frustration that many of the committee's questions were not allowed to be asked, let alone answered. Oh, my poor David. This is not the first time that's happened.
Sorry about the noise with the ice, by the way.
Okay.
I tried to be quiet.
Okay. Alex continues, the council has made its decision with that chilling statement from Fortune. It became abundantly clear that the committee holds no actual weight and was never meant to. The city has no plan. And by the way, that statement was, quote, the council has made its decision. So yeah, basically, this committee has no weight. And
wait,
it's there for show.
What does that mean the council has made its decision? Then what was the point?
Beats me.
If the council has already made up their minds, then this made this. Well, why even have this? Why waste our time?
We could take a guess to make it look like they're doing something and they're listening to their constituents and they're evaluating and studying the process and studying everything. And then they can say, they could do what they want, and they could say, well, we had a committee, and we took the committee's recommendations, and we did all of this, that, and the other thing, when really they didn't. Alex concludes with, the city has shown...
slimy.
He concludes, the city has shown its hand. It cares not for the opinions of the committee. It cares not for its residents. Come May 3rd, should the city vote to pull out of DART, many will be left stranded. Now, I hope that doesn't come to fruition. They still have some time.
If the council has already made its decision, as they are claiming, then I think it's happening one way or another.
I don't know. I mean, they can contract. Apparently, if this is correct, they can contract with DART. And I think that's what the committee wanted them to do. Contract with DART for at least the rail service. But I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I'm taking the word of city staff, which apparently thinks that they're in control. And they're not. So, I must tell you, I am worried about one thing.
Just one thing?
Oh, yeah, well, this is the biggest thing I'm worried about. What is going to happen to the disabled? See, a person who is able-bodied, okay, they can call a Lyft, they can call an Uber, they can call a taxi, they can get a ride from a friend, carpool. They have they can think outside the box. They have different things that they can and research and look into. A person in a wheelchair doesn't have that option. A person in the wheelchair needs a special equipped van to take them around. If paratransit stops, these people are literally going to be stranded. And they will have no way because they can't get in a car. All right? They can't get in your regular microtransit Uber or Lyft or microtransit van, whatever they have.
It's too small.
It's too small. They need if they're in a wheelchair, they need a lift that will rise the wheelchair to the van and put them inside the van. This is a specialized thing. So you got somebody like that who's got to get to a doctor's appointment. They've got a problem because they can't call a friend.
Unless the
friend has
a special van.
A special van, which odds are that ain't happening, okay? So this is very, very reckless. And the city is going to leave these people high and dry, and this can be dangerous. Oftentimes these people have serious medical problems. So, they have got to fix this. Get an expert on transportation in there. Honestly, I don't care how fast you got to do this. I don't care what you got to do. But you cannot leave the disabled stranded like this because they literally have no other option. All right? The city council will meet on Tuesday, December 16th, to go over the results of the committee, which apparently aren't going to be very pretty. Tuesday is a very busy night. We have the debate and we have this meeting. So hopefully there'll be people who can make it to one or the other. And those who want to see both, hopefully the debate will be videoed. We'll keep you posted, folks, but it's not going to be pretty. All right, last up. we have another person running for Commissioner's Court who was on Plano City Council. Former Councilman Rick Grady is running to be judge of the Commissioner's Court.
Rick Grady.
Mm-hmm. Rick Grady. Does that ring any bells?
Isn't that the guy who... Sorry. Isn't that the guy who was like, oh, stop complaining about your higher property tax bills. Just mow your own lawn, you lazy people. I am dramatizing it quite a bit.
That is the one and the same. Yes, Rick Grady. In 2017, at the August budget workshop, which is still available on the City Council's website, he said, people need to mow their own lawns.
Oh yeah, I got the vibe.
To pay for their higher property tax bill that they will get next year after the City Council votes to raise their property tax bills. He not only said that, he also said that they, the residents, should go through their own budget and figure out what the residents could cut from their own household budgets.
We don't have to cut our budget. You have to cut your budget.
Exactly. The one and the same. Yes. That Rick.
Yeah, I remember him now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I tell you, this Commissioner Court's race is beginning to look like a Plano City Council election. You've got you got Shelby Williams, who's running for Commissioner Court place 4. You've got Julie Homer running for the same place, and then Rick, he wants to be judge of the Commissioner's Court, which isn't a real judge. They call him a judge because he is akin to the mayor on the Commissioner's Court. He runs the meetings, and he has an equal voting power.
Why are all these council members running for Commissioner's Court?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
Is that like the next step?
It is. If you were to go in the hierarchy of offices, yes, it would be the next step up in government. So, yeah, you've got your city government, and then you've got your county government. This is the county government.
Okay, so that's why.
Yeah. So, once again, we here at Plano's Political People are put in a very precarious situation because we usually do not comment on partisan politics races.
However, our thoughts on Rick Grady are quite well known.
Yeah, they are literally written down or on recordings. And we can't take them back, and we're not going to take them back. He served on city council for 8 years. He passed tax increases. He passed zoning that we don't agree with. It's very clearly out there, and we can't go and rewind time and take back what we said.
You know, he's got a record.
He does. We're not going to endorse either person, but at least I'm not. I'm not going to endorse. But if you are a follower of this program, or you've just come to us and you're just going through our past episodes and our past videos that we put out.
If you're talking about those like those videos that I edited for you like years ago. Those are old.
They're very old, but they're still up. They're still out there. I mean, there are articles written.
Well, there's so many articles.
Very, before we became a podcast, we were totally written articles. So it's in black and white. We can't run from it. So
you can learn about him.
You can learn about him. Feel free to learn about his record. We're not taking anything down. We're not going to hide anything. We are fully transparent. He was not our favorite council person during his time. And do your homework. Chris Hill has a record too. He's the current judge of the Commissioner's Court. Look him up too. And may the best man win.
What has each done?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What has each done? Alrighty. Moving on to our very important dog, Miss Stella. I must say first, I apologize if anyone went to the link and you got a pop-up that said this page doesn't exist. We made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
I made a mistake in the copy and the pasting. So I have corrected it. I double-checked it. Stella's profile is now linked on our website.
Okay, so Stella, she is a friendly dog who's about 3 years of age. It's perfect age if you don't want a puppy. She is house trained and very sweet. Stella is very good with children and quite active, so maybe best around older children. And she's also good with other dogs. So if you have dogs already, no worries.
And if you are interested in Stella, please go to our website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, and click on the link Pitbulls for Adoption. And I know 100% sure it will take you to Stella's page. That is a wrap for us today, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.